Maya Washington looked at the old clock on the wall of Rosie's diner. It was almost 10 p.m. on Tuesday night. She tied her apron around her waist and picked up her order pad. Another long night was starting. The diner was not in the best part of Detroit. During the day it was okay, but at night strange people came in. Some were drunk, some were angry, some just had nowhere else to go. Maya had learned to handle all kinds of people in her 3 years working here. She was 28 years old and worked 2 jobs. During the day she cleaned offices downtown. At night she worked at the diner until 6 a.m. She was always tired, but she needed the money. Her grandmother was sick and needed expensive medicine. Maya also went to school online when she could. She wanted to get a business degree and open her own restaurant someday. The diner was small and old. It had red booths that were torn in places. The floor was checkered black and white, but some tiles were missing. The neon sign outside flickered on and off. It said, Rosie's Diner, open 24 hours, but the R didn't light up anymore. Maya walked to the coffee machine and started a fresh pot. The coffee was strong and black. Most customers wanted it that way. She looked around the diner. There were only 3 customers right now. One was Bill, an old man who came in every night at 10 p.m. He always ordered the same thing, coffee and apple pie. He was a nice man who used to work at the car factory before it closed down. At table 5 sat a young woman with a baby. The woman looked very tired. She had been there for 2 hours, making 1 cup of coffee last as long as possible. Maya knew she probably had no money for food and nowhere warm to go. Maya had given her some free bread earlier when the cook wasn't looking. The corner booth sat a truck driver. He was eating a big plate of eggs and bacon. He would probably sleep in his truck in the parking lot for a few hours before driving on. Maya had seen him before. He was always polite and left good tips. The bell above the door rang as another customer walked in. It was Jimmy, who worked the night shift at the gas station next door. He came in every night around this time for coffee and a sandwich. Hey, Maya, Jimmy said as he sat at the counter. The usual? Coming right up, Maya said with a smile. She poured his coffee and made his ham sandwich. Jimmy was one of the good customers. He was friendly and never caused trouble. The hours passed slowly. More people came and went. Some ordered food. Others just wanted coffee to stay warm. Maya served everyone with the same friendly smile, even when she was tired. Around midnight, a group of young men came in. They were loud and smelled like beer. Maya watched them carefully. She had learned to spot trouble before it started. The men ordered burgers and fries and seemed okay at first, but as time went on, they got louder and more rude. Hey, waitress, one of them called out. This burger is cold. Are you too stupid to tell the cook to heat it up? Maya took a deep breath. I'm sorry about that. Let me get you a fresh one right away. She took the plate to Frank, the cook. Frank was a big man who had worked at the diner for 10 years. He didn't like rude customers. Those boys giving you trouble? Frank asked. Nothing I can't handle, Maya said. But she was glad Frank was there. He always watched out for her. She brought the new burger to the table. The young man grabbed her wrist as she put the plate down. Maybe you could be a little nicer to us, he said with an ugly smile. Let go of me, Maya said calmly but firmly. Frank appeared beside their table. Is there a problem here? The young man let go of Maya's wrist quickly. Frank was twice his size and looked angry. No problem, the young man said. We were just talking. Good, Frank said. Maya, why don't you help me in the kitchen for a minute? Maya followed Frank to the back. This was how she had learned to handle difficult situations. Stay calm. Get help when needed. Don't let people push you around. The young men finished their food quickly and left without leaving a tip. Maya cleaned their table and went back to work. This was normal for her. She dealt with problems and moved on. By 1 a.m., the diner was quieter. Only a few customers remained. Maya refilled coffee cups and wiped down tables. She was thinking about her grandmother, who was home sleeping. The old woman had been Maya's guardian since Maya was 5 years old. Her parents had died in a car crash and grandmother had raised her with love and kindness. Now grandmother was 75 years old and had diabetes. She needed insulin and other medicines that cost a lot of money. Maya's insurance from her day job helped, some but not enough. That's why Maya worked 2 jobs and went to school online. She wanted a better life for both of them. Maya also thought about her dream restaurant. She had it all planned out in her head. It would serve good, healthy food at prices working people could afford. It would be clean and bright, with plants in the windows. The employees would be treated well and paid fairly. Maybe someday, if she worked hard enough and saved enough money, her dream would come true. The bell rang again, and Maya looked up to see who was coming in. But it was just the wind blowing the door open. She walked over to close it and saw that it was starting to rain outside. The parking lot was mostly empty now except for the truck driver's big rig and a few old cars. Maya looked at the clock again. It was 1:30 a.m. The hardest part of her shift was coming. Between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m., the strangest customers usually showed up. Drug dealers counting money, people running from something, others who just couldn't sleep and had nowhere else to go. But Maya was ready for whatever the night would bring. She had handled everything before. She was strong, smart, and not easily scared. She had no idea that in just 30 minutes, a man would stumble into her diner who would change her life forever. She had no way of knowing that her kindness to a stranger would lead to the biggest surprise of her life. For now, Maya just wiped down the counter, checked the coffee pot, and got ready for the next customer. It was just another Tuesday night at Rosie's Diner, or so she thought. At exactly 2:15 a.m., Maya heard a strange sound from the back of the diner. It was like someone had fallen down. She looked around and saw that the truck driver had left. Only 2 customers remained, an old woman drinking coffee and a man reading a newspaper. Maya walked toward the back booths to see what had made the noise. In the last booth, the one that was usually empty because the light above it was broken, she saw something that made her heart stop. A man was lying across the seat, not moving. Maya rushed to the booth. The man was unconscious. He was wearing an expensive-looking dark suit that was torn and dirty. His white shirt had blood on it. There was a cut on the side of his head, and blood was slowly dripping onto the cracked plastic seat. "Oh my God," Maya whispered. She looked around to see if anyone else had noticed. The old woman was still drinking her coffee and looking out the window. The man with the newspaper was focused on reading. Neither of them had seen what Maya had found. Maya's first thought was to call 911, but something stopped her. The man's wallet was missing. His expensive watch was gone too. Someone had robbed him and hurt him badly. But why was he here in the diner? How did he get here? Maya leaned closer to the man. He was breathing, but it was shallow. She could see that he was probably in his early 40s. He had dark skin and short black hair. Even hurt and unconscious, she could tell he was not the kind of person who usually came to Rosie's Diner. "Sir?" Maya said softly, shaking his shoulder gently. "Sir, can you hear me?" The man's eyes fluttered open for a moment. They were brown and filled with confusion and fear. "The meeting," he mumbled. They found me. Can't let them." His eyes closed again, and his head fell back. Maya felt his pulse. It was weak but steady. She looked at the cut on his head. It was bleeding, but not too badly. She had taken a first aid class at the community center, so she knew a little about helping injured people. Maya made a quick decision. She couldn't leave this man here where other customers might see him. And something in her gut told her that calling the police right away might not be safe for him. The way he had said "they found me" made her think he was running from someone dangerous. "Frank," she called softly to the cook. "Can you come here for a second?" Frank walked over, wiping his hands on his apron. When he saw the unconscious man, his eyes got wide. "Holy cow," Frank said. "What happened to him?" "I don't know," Maya said. "I found him like this. Frank, can you help me move him to the storage room? I don't think he's safe out here." Frank looked at Maya like she was crazy. Maya, we should call an ambulance. This man needs a doctor. I know, Maya said. But look at him. Someone hurt him and took his things. What if the people who did this come looking for him? What if they're dangerous? Frank scratched his gray beard. He had known Maya for 3 years and trusted her judgment. She was smart and careful, not the type to do something stupid. Okay, Frank said. But if he gets worse, we're calling 911 right away. Together, they carefully lifted the unconscious man and carried him to the small storage room behind the kitchen. Maya grabbed some clean towels and a bottle of water. The storage room was small and full of boxes, but there was enough space for the man to lie down on some folded tablecloths. Maya cleaned the blood from the man's head wound. It wasn't as bad as it had looked. Head wounds always bled a lot, she remembered from her first aid class. She pressed a clean towel against the cut to stop the bleeding. The man's eyes opened again. This time they stayed open longer. Where am I? He asked weakly. You're safe, Maya said gently. You're in a diner. Someone hurt you, but you're okay now. What's your name? The man tried to sit up but fell back down. I can't remember. My head hurts so much. Don't try to move yet, Maya said. Here, drink some water. She helped him take small sips of water. His hands were shaking. What happened to you? Maya asked. The man closed his eyes and tried to think. I was at a meeting. Business meeting. Something went wrong. They weren't who they said they were. I tried to leave, but they... He touched his head where the cut was. They hit me. I ran. I don't remember how I got here. Maya felt sorry for this hurt stranger. She could see fear in his eyes. Whatever had happened to him was bad. Do you have family I can call? Maya asked. The man shook his head slowly. No, not safe. They might be watching. Can't trust anyone. You can trust me, Maya said. I won't let anyone hurt you. The man looked at Maya for a long moment. Even through his pain and confusion, he could see kindness in her eyes. Something about her made him feel safe. Why are you helping me? He asked. Maya thought about the question. Because you need help. That's what people should do for each other. The man almost smiled. Not everyone thinks that way. Well, I do, Maya said. Now rest. I need to get back to work, but I'll check on you soon. Maya went back to the main part of the diner. She refilled coffee cups and cleaned tables, but her mind was on the injured man in the storage room. She wondered who he was and what kind of trouble he was in. Around 3 a.m., 3 men in dark clothes walked into the diner. Maya felt her stomach tighten with worry. These men looked dangerous. They had cold eyes and moved like they were looking for something or someone. The tallest man walked up to the counter where Maya was standing. We're looking for someone, he said. His voice was rough and unfriendly. A man in a dark suit. He might be hurt. Have you seen anyone like that tonight? Maya's heart was beating fast, but she kept her face calm. A lot of people come through here at night. Can you be more specific? The man pulled out a photo from his jacket. Maya looked at it and felt her blood turn cold. It was the man she had hidden in the storage room. This man, the tall man said. He was in an accident earlier tonight. We're his business partners. We're very worried about him. Maya knew these men were lying. The hurt man had said people were after him. These had to be the dangerous people he was afraid of. I'm sorry, Maya said, trying to sound normal. I haven't seen anyone like that. Have you tried the hospital? The man's eyes got narrow. Are you sure? It's very important that we find him. He has something that belongs to us. I'm sure, Maya said. But you're welcome to look around if you want. The 3 men spread out through the small diner. They looked under tables and in the bathroom. Maya watched them and prayed they wouldn't think to check the storage room. After 10 minutes, the men came back to the counter. If you see this man, the tall one said, you call this number right away. He put a business card on the counter. Don't talk to him, don't help him, just call us. It would be very bad for you if you tried to help him. The threat was clear. Maya nodded and picked up the card, but inside she was more determined than ever to protect the injured stranger. After the 3 men left, Maya waited 5 minutes to make sure they were really gone. Then she rushed to the storage room. The man was awake and had heard everything. "They found me," he whispered, fear filling his voice. "No," Maya said firmly. "They didn't find you, and they won't. I promise." Maya closed the storage room door softly and leaned against it. Her hands were shaking. She had just lied to 3 dangerous men, and she knew there would be serious trouble if they found out. The injured man was sitting up now, looking scared and confused. "Those men," he whispered. "They're the ones who hurt me. How did they find me so fast?" "I don't know," Maya said, "but they didn't find you. I told them I hadn't seen anyone like you." "You lied to them for me," the man said, surprised. "Why? Would you do that? You don't even know me." Maya sat down on a box of napkins. "Those men were not nice people, I could see it in their eyes, and you're hurt and scared. I couldn't just hand you over to them." The man stared at Maya. In his world of business and money, people usually only helped others when they wanted something back. But this young waitress was risking her own safety for a complete stranger. "What if they come back?" he asked. "Then we'll figure something out," Maya said. "But right now you need to rest and get better." Maya brought the man some soup and crackers from the kitchen. Frank had made fresh chicken soup that evening, and Maya knew it would help the injured man feel stronger. "Thank you," the man said, as he ate slowly. "This is really good." "Frank is a great cook," Maya said. "He's worked here for 10 years. He's like a father to me." As the man ate, Maya studied his face. Even hurt and dirty, she could tell he was used to better things than Rosie's diner. His hands were soft, like someone who worked in an office, not with tools. His suit, even torn and bloody, was expensive. She wondered what kind of business he was in and why dangerous people were after him. "Can you remember anything else about what happened?" Maya asked gently. The man put down his spoon and thought hard. "I was supposed to meet with some investors. They said they wanted to put money into my company, but when I got to the meeting, something felt wrong." He touched the bandage Maya had put on his head. "They started asking strange questions about moving money to different countries. They wanted me to help them hide money from the government. When I said no and tried to leave, they got angry." "What kind of company do you have?" Maya asked. I think I build things, make things, but I can't remember clearly. My head still hurt so much." Maya could see that the man was getting tired again. The blow to his head had been hard and he needed time to heal. "Don't worry about remembering everything right now," she said. "Just rest." For the next 2 hours, Maya went back and forth between serving customers and checking on the injured man. The diner was busier than usual for a Tuesday night. A group of factory workers came in after their shift ended. 2 police officers stopped by for coffee. Maya acted normal with everyone, but inside, she was nervous about the secret she was keeping. Around 4 a.m., Maya heard car doors slamming outside. She looked through the window and saw the same 3 men from before getting out of a black SUV. Her heart started beating fast. "Frank," she called quietly. "Those bad men are back. Can you watch the front while I check on something in the back?" Frank nodded. He didn't ask questions, but Maya could see he was worried too. Maya rushed to the storage room. "They're back," she told the injured man. "Stay quiet no matter what happens." The man grabbed Maya's hand. "If they find me here, you'll be in danger too. Maybe I should just go with them." "No," Maya said firmly. "You said they hurt you. I won't let them do it again." Maya went back to the main part of the diner just as the 3 men walked in. This time they looked angry and suspicious. "We want to search this place more carefully," the tall man said. "Our friend is missing, and we think someone might be hiding him." "I told you before," Maya said, trying to keep her voice steady. "I haven't seen your friend. This is a business, not a hiding place." "Then you won't mind if we look around again," the man said. It wasn't really a question. Maya's mind raced. She had to think of something to keep them away from the storage room. "Of course you can look, but I should warn you, we just had the health inspector here yesterday. They found some problems in the back areas. There might be rats." The second man made a disgusted face. "Rats?" "Big ones," Maya said, trying to look embarrassed. We're getting it fixed, but right now it's pretty bad back there. You might want to stick to the dining area." The tall man looked suspicious, but the other two men seemed bothered by the idea of rats. Maya hoped her lie would work. The men searched the dining area again, looking under every table and booth. They checked the bathroom twice. One of them even looked inside the coffee machine. But none of them wanted to go near the storage room after hearing about rats. After 20 minutes, they gave up. But before leaving, the tall man came close to Maya. His voice was low and threatening. "I think you're lying to us," he said, "and if we find out you are, you'll be very sorry. We know where you work. We can find out where you live. Think carefully about whether helping a stranger is worth risking your own life." Maya's knees felt weak, but she kept her face brave. "I understand, but I really haven't seen your friend." After the men left, Maya waited 10 minutes before going to the storage room. The injured man was awake and had heard everything. "They threatened you," he said, looking guilty. "This is my fault. I should leave before they come back again." "You're not going anywhere," Maya said. "You can barely stand up. Besides, where would you go? You don't have money or a phone or even a way to get around." "But they'll keep coming back," the man said. "And next time they might hurt you." Maya sat down next to him. "Listen to me. My whole life, I've watched bad people push around good people. I've seen bullies win because everyone else was too scared to stand up to them. I'm not going to let that happen here." The man looked at Maya with new respect. "You're very brave." "I'm not brave," Maya said. "I'm just tired of being scared all the time." The rest of Maya's shift passed slowly. She kept watching the window for the black SUV, but the three men didn't come back. As 6 a.m. got closer, Maya started thinking about what would happen when her shift ended. She couldn't just leave the injured man alone in the storage room. The day shift workers might find him, and if the dangerous men came back during the day, there would be no one to protect him. Maya made a decision. She would ask her relief worker, Janet, to switch shifts with her. Janet was always looking for extra hours, and Maya could afford to miss some sleep. The injured man needed her help, and Maya wasn't going to abandon him now. At 5:30 a.m., Maya called Janet and explained that she had a family emergency and needed to work the day shift too. Janet agreed to work the night shift instead. When 6 a.m. came, Maya didn't go home. Instead, she stayed at the diner to continue protecting the stranger who had stumbled into her life. She didn't know his name or where he came from, but she knew he was a good person in serious trouble. As the morning sun started to shine through the diner windows, Maya made fresh coffee and got ready for another long day. She had no idea that the man she was protecting was one of the richest people in America. She just knew that helping him was the right thing to do, no matter what it cost her. By 8 a.m., the morning crowd started coming into Rosie's diner. Maya served coffee and breakfast to construction workers, office cleaners, and people heading to their day jobs. She smiled and acted normal, but part of her mind was always thinking about the man hiding in the storage room. During a quiet moment, Maya slipped into the back room with a cup of coffee and some toast. The injured man was sitting up and looking much better. The color had returned to his face and his eyes were clearer. "How are you feeling?" Maya asked. "Much better, thanks to you," he said. "But I've been thinking. I can't hide here forever. Those men will keep coming back until they find me." Maya sat down on a crate next to him. "Then we need to figure out what to do next, but first I need to know more about what happened to you, and I need to know your real name." The man was quiet for a long moment. Then he took a deep breath and looked directly at Maya. "My name is Marcus Blackwell," he said. "I'm the CEO of Blackwell Industries." Maya had never heard of Blackwell Industries, but she could tell from the way Marcus said it that it was important. "What kind of company is it?" she asked. "We build factories and office buildings. We also make computer parts and medical equipment. The company has been in my family for 40 years. My father started it, and now I run it." Maya was starting to understand that Marcus was much more important than she had thought. "So you're rich?" Marcus almost smiled. "Yes, very rich. That's part of why I'm in trouble." He told Maya the whole story. 3 weeks ago, some men had contacted him about investing in his company. They said they had a lot of money and wanted to help him expand his business to other countries. At first, everything seemed normal, Marcus said. They knew a lot about business and had good ideas, but yesterday, at what I thought was our final meeting, they showed their true faces. The men weren't real investors. They were criminals who used legitimate businesses to hide dirty money. They wanted to force Marcus to help them move millions of dollars from illegal activities through his company. They said if I helped them, they would make me even richer. Marcus continued. But if I refused, they would destroy my company and hurt the people I care about. What did you do? Maya asked. I told them no. I said I would never help criminals no matter how much money they offered. That's when they got violent. Marcus touched the bandage on his head. They hit me and took my phone and wallet so I couldn't call for help. But I managed to get away when they were arguing about what to do with me. How did you end up here? Maya asked. I ran through the streets in the dark. I was dizzy and bleeding and didn't know where I was going. When I saw the lights of this diner, I thought I could get help. But then I collapsed in the booth. Maya understood now why Marcus had been so scared when he woke up, and why those dangerous men were so determined to find him. They won't give up, Marcus said. They need me to make their plan work. And now they know I can identify them to the police. So we call the police, Maya said. You tell them everything and they arrest the bad guys. Marcus shook his head sadly. These aren't ordinary criminals, Maya. They have connections everywhere. Some of them might be working with corrupt police officers or government officials. If I go to the wrong people, I could end up dead. Maya felt a chill run down her back. She had known the situation was dangerous, but she hadn't realized how bad it really was. There's something else, Marcus said. By helping me, you're now in danger too. These people will do anything to protect their operation. If they think you know too much. He didn't finish the sentence, but Maya understood. Her decision to help Marcus had put her own life at risk. Are you sorry you helped me? Marcus asked quietly. Maya thought about it. She thought about her grandmother, at home, waiting for her to come back safely. She thought about her job and her school and her dreams for the future. All of that could be in danger now. But then she looked at Marcus and saw a good man who was trying to do the right thing. He could have helped the criminals and made more money than he already had. Instead, he chose to refuse them, even though it put him in terrible danger. No, Maya said firmly. I'm not sorry. What you did took courage. You could have taken their dirty money, but you didn't. That tells me you're a good person worth helping. Marcus stared at Maya in amazement. You could walk away right now. You could tell me to leave and pretend this never happened. Why are you willing to risk everything for someone you just met? Maya was quiet for a moment, thinking about her answer. My grandmother always taught me that we're all connected. When one person suffers, we all suffer a little. When one person does something brave and good, we all benefit. You stood up to bad people even though it was dangerous. That makes the world a little bit better for everyone. But what about your own safety? Marcus asked. I'll be careful, Maya said. But I won't abandon you. We'll figure out a way to get through this together. Marcus felt something he hadn't experienced in years. Most people in his world only cared about him because of his money and power. But Maya was risking her life for him simply because it was the right thing to do. What do you think we should do? He asked. Maya had been thinking about this all morning. You said you can't trust the local police because the criminals might have people working with them. But what about the FBI? Don't they investigate organized crime? Yes, Marcus said, his eyes lighting up with hope. The FBI has a division that handles financial crimes and organized crime. They would be the right people to call. Then that's what we do, Maya said. But not from here. We need to find a safe place to make the call. Maya, Marcus said seriously. Once we contact the FBI, there's no going back. These criminals will know that I'm working with the authorities. They'll be even more dangerous than before. Are you trying to talk me out of helping you? Maya asked with a small smile. No, Marcus said. I just want you to understand what you're getting into. I understand, Maya said. and I'm not changing my mind. Marcus reached out and took Maya's hand. Thank you. I don't know how I'll ever repay you for what you're doing. You don't need to repay me, Maya said. Just promise me that when this is over, you'll keep being the kind of person who stands up to bullies even when it's hard. I promise, Marcus said. Maya looked at her watch. It was almost noon and the lunch crowd would be coming in soon. She needed to get back to work, but she also needed to figure out how to contact the FBI safely. I have an idea, she said. My friend Carlos works at the library downtown. Libraries have computers and phones that can't be traced back to us. After my shift ends tonight, we can go there and contact the FBI. That's a good plan, Marcus said. But Maya, I need you to promise me something too. What? She asked. If things get too dangerous, if those men threaten you directly, I want you to walk away. Don't let helping me ruin your life. Maya squeezed his hand. We're in this together. Now, and together we're going to make sure the bad guys don't win. As Maya went back to serving customers, she felt scared but determined. She had never done anything this dangerous before, but she knew she was doing the right thing. Tonight they would contact the FBI and start the process of bringing the criminals to justice. She had no idea that her simple act of kindness was about to change both their lives in ways she could never imagine. The afternoon passed slowly at Rosie's diner. Maya served the lunch crowd while keeping one eye on the window, watching for the black SUV. Every time someone new walked in, her heart would skip a beat until she saw it was just a regular customer. During her break at 3 p.m., Maya went to check on Marcus. She found him looking much stronger. He had cleaned himself up as best he could and was sitting up straight. I've been thinking about our plan, Marcus said. Going to the library tonight is smart, but we need to be very careful. These men might be watching the diner. How would we get there without being seen? Maya asked. Does this diner have a back door? Marcus asked. Yes, but it leads to the alley where they put the garbage cans. It's not a nice area. That might be perfect, Marcus said. They would expect us to use the front door. Is there a way to get from the alley to the main street without being seen? Maya thought about it. There's a fence at the end of the alley that connects to the parking lot of the grocery store next door. We could climb over it. Good, Marcus said. What time? Does your shift end? 6 a.m., but I already arranged to work a double shift. The night girl is covering for me so I can stay here with you. Marcus looked surprised. You're working 2 shifts in a row just to protect me? It's not a big deal, Maya said, though she was already feeling tired. I've done it before. As they talked, Maya learned more about Marcus's life. He told her about growing up in his father's business, learning to make hard decisions and trying to use his wealth to help other people. I started a program that gives scholarships to kids who can't afford college, Marcus said. And we built a free medical clinic in the poorest part of Detroit. That's wonderful, Maya said. Not many rich people do things like that. My father taught me that money is just a tool, Marcus said. What matters is how you use it. He always said that success without helping others is just selfishness. Maya was impressed. In her experience, people with money usually looked down on people like her. But Marcus was different. He seemed to really care about making the world better. What about you? Marcus asked. Tell me about your dreams. Maya felt a little embarrassed. Her dreams seemed so small compared to his business empire. I want to open a restaurant someday. Nothing fancy, just good food at prices working people can afford. Maybe have a place where people can come for job training too. Marcus's eyes lit up. That's a beautiful dream. Food brings people together, and helping others find work is one of the best things you can do. It's probably impossible, Maya said. Starting a restaurant takes a lot of money that I don't have. Nothing good is impossible if you work hard enough, Marcus said. And from what I've seen, you're not afraid of hard work. Their conversation was interrupted by the sound of car doors slamming outside. Maya looked through the window and saw the black SUV again. This time there were 4 men instead of 3. They're back, Maya whispered. And they brought more people. Marcus stood up, looking worried. Maybe I should turn myself in. I don't want them to hurt you. No, Maya said firmly. Stay here and be quiet. I'll handle this. The four men walked into the diner looking angry and determined. The tall leader from before marched straight to Maya at the counter. We know you're lying to us, he said loudly. We've been watching this place and we know our friend is here somewhere. Maya's heart was pounding, but she kept her voice steady. Sir, I told you before, I haven't seen your friend. Maybe you should check other places. We've checked everywhere else, the man said. This is the last place he could be hiding. The other three men spread out through the diner. This time they were more aggressive, moving tables and looking behind equipment. Other customers started to look nervous. Frank came out of the kitchen looking upset. Hey, what's going on here? You're bothering my customers. This is police business, one of the men lied, showing a fake badge. We're looking for a dangerous criminal. Maya knew they were lying, but the customers didn't know that. An elderly couple quickly paid their bill and left. A businessman closed his laptop and walked out. The fake police officers searched every inch of the dining area. They looked under the counter, inside the coffee machines, and even in the ice machine. Maya watched them, trying to look confused and innocent. Ma'am, the leader said to Maya, I need you to open that storage room in the back. Maya's blood turned cold. Storage room? Don't play dumb with us. We know this place has a back room. Open it now. Maya's mind raced. She had to think of something fast. I don't have the key, she said. Only the manager has it, and he won't be here until tomorrow. Then we'll break down the door, the man said. Wait, Frank said, stepping forward. You can't just break things in my kitchen. I'll lose my job. Then get us the key, the man demanded. I really don't have it, Frank said. But even if I did, I couldn't let you destroy property without a real search warrant. That badge doesn't look official to me. The leader's face turned, red with anger. Old man, you don't want to make us mad. But Frank had worked in tough neighborhoods his whole life. He wasn't easily intimidated. And you don't want to cause trouble in a business with security cameras, he said, pointing to the camera above the cash register. This was a lie. The camera had been broken for months, but the fake officers didn't know that. The men looked at each other uncertainly. They hadn't expected this much resistance. Fine, the leader said, but we'll be back with a real warrant tomorrow. And if we find out you've been lying to us, you'll both be in serious trouble. After the men left, Frank turned to Maya. Those weren't real police officers, he said quietly. How did you know? Maya asked. I've seen plenty of real cops in my time. Those guys were trying too hard to act official. Plus, real police don't threaten to break down doors without warrants. Maya felt grateful for Frank's help, but also worried about getting him involved in something dangerous. Frank, those men are really bad people. I don't want you to get hurt because of me. Maya, Frank said, putting a fatherly hand on her shoulder. You're like a daughter to me. If you're in trouble, then I'm here to help. What's really going on? Maya made a quick decision. Frank had already risked himself to help her. He deserved to know the truth. There's a man hiding in the storage room, she said quietly. Some criminals heard him and are trying to find him. I couldn't just let them have him. Frank nodded slowly. Is he a good guy or a bad guy? He's good, Maya said. He refused to help the criminals with something illegal. So they tried to hurt him. Then we keep him safe, Frank said simply. But those fake cops will be back, probably tonight. We need a better plan. Maya told Frank about their idea to contact the FBI from the library. Frank thought it was smart, but he was worried about how they would get Marcus out of the diner safely. I have an idea, Frank said. My nephew Tony drives a delivery truck for the bakery. He makes deliveries to restaurants all night long. Maybe he could help us. Would he do it? Maya asked. Tony's a good kid. If I explain that we're helping someone in trouble, he'll help us. As the evening went on, Frank called his nephew and explained the situation. Tony agreed to help. The plan was simple. Tony would make a fake delivery to the diner around midnight. While he was unloading bread in the back alley, Marcus would hide in the empty truck. Tony would then drive to the library where Marcus and Maya could safely contact the FBI. At 11:30 p.m., Maya went to the storage room to tell Marcus about the plan. "Frank and his nephew are risking themselves to help us," Marcus said. "I feel terrible about involving more people." "Frank made his own choice," Maya said. "And Tony is volunteering too. Sometimes good people have to work together to stop bad people. After this is over," Marcus said, "I want to do something special for Frank and Tony. And for you too, Maya. You've all shown me what real courage looks like." "We're not doing this for rewards," Maya said. "We're doing it because it's right." At exactly midnight, Tony's bakery truck pulled up to the back alley. Maya helped Marcus sneak out the back door and climb into the empty truck. Then she got in the passenger seat with Tony. As they drove through the quiet streets toward the library, Maya felt nervous but hopeful. Tomorrow, the FBI would know about the criminals. Marcus would be safe, and the bad guys would finally face justice. She had no idea that this night would be just the beginning of the most amazing change in her life. Tony's delivery truck pulled up to the Detroit Public Library just after midnight. The building was closed, but Maya knew her friend Carlos would be there. He worked the night security shift and often let her use the computers for her online classes. Maya knocked on the back door in the special pattern Carlos had taught her. After a moment, the door opened and Carlos's friendly face appeared. "Maya? What are you doing here so late?" Carlos asked in Spanish-accented English. "Carlos, I need a big favor," Maya said. "This is Marcus. He's in serious trouble and needs to call the FBI." Carlos looked at Marcus, who was still wearing his torn suit and had a bandage on his head. Carlos had known Maya for 2 years and trusted her completely. "Come in," Carlos said. "But be quiet. If my supervisor finds out I let people in after hours, I'll lose my job." Carlos led them to a computer in the back corner of the library. "This one connects to the internet, and the phone next to it can make long-distance calls," he said. "I'll watch the front to make sure nobody comes." Marcus sat down at the computer and found the FBI's website. He looked up the number for their Financial Crimes Division and took a deep breath before picking up the phone. "FBI Detroit office, Agent Johnson speaking," a woman's voice answered. "Agent Johnson, my name is Marcus Blackwell, CEO of Blackwell Industries. I need to report an attempted extortion and assault by an organized crime group." There was a pause. "Mr. Blackwell, can you verify your identity for me?" Marcus gave Agent Johnson his social security number, his company's federal tax ID, and other information that proved who he was. "Mr. Blackwell, we've been looking for you," Agent Johnson said. "Your assistant reported you missing when you didn't come home last night." "Where are you now?" "I'm at the Detroit Public Library on Woodward Avenue," Marcus said. "But I can't go home yet. The people who attacked me are still looking for me." "Stay where you are," Agent Johnson said. "I'm sending agents to pick you up right now. Don't leave the building until they arrive." Marcus hung up and turned to Maya. "They're coming to get me. The FBI has been looking for me since yesterday." Maya felt relieved but also sad. Once the FBI took Marcus away, she would probably never see him again. He would go back to his rich life and she would return to working at the diner. "I'm glad you're going to be safe," Maya said. Marcus looked at her seriously. "Maya, I need to tell you something. Once I start working with the FBI, those criminals are going to know that someone helped me hide. They might try to hurt you," Maya felt scared, but she tried not to show it. "What should I do?" "The FBI will want to talk to you too. You'll need to tell them everything that happened. They can protect you during the investigation." 20 minutes later, 2 FBI agents in dark suits arrived at the library. They showed their badges to Carlos and asked to speak with Marcus and Maya. Agent Johnson was a tall woman with short gray hair and kind but serious eyes. Agent Martinez was a younger man who took notes while Agent Johnson asked questions. For 2 hours, Maya and Marcus told the agents everything that had happened. Maya described the 3 men who had come to the diner looking for Marcus. She gave them the business card the leader had left behind. Agent Johnson studied the card. "This is a fake company. she said. But it gives us a clue about who these people are. We've been investigating this criminal organization for months. Are Maya and I safe now? Marcus asked. You are, Mr. Blackwell, Agent Johnson said. We're taking you to a safe house where you'll stay until we can arrest these criminals. But I'm afraid we need Maya's help with the investigation. What kind of help? Maya asked nervously. These criminals think you don't know anything important, Agent Johnson explained. If you go back to work at the diner and act normal, they might come back and say things that could help us catch them. You want me to be bait? Maya asked. Not exactly bait, Agent Johnson said. But we would like you to wear a small recording device. If they come back and threaten you or talk about their plans, we would record everything. Maya looked at Marcus. She could see he was worried about her safety. It would be dangerous, Marcus said. Maya has already done enough. Can't you catch these people without putting her at risk? We could try, Agent Johnson said. But with Maya's help, we could get enough evidence to put them in prison for a very long time. Without it, they might only get short sentences and they could come after both of you when they get out. Maya thought about it. She was scared, but she also wanted to make sure the criminals couldn't hurt other people. If I do this, will you protect me? She asked. We'll have agents watching the diner at all times, Agent Johnson promised. And if anything goes wrong, they'll be there in seconds. I'll do it, Maya said. Marcus grabbed her hand. Maya, you don't have to do this. Yes, I do, Maya said. These are bad people who hurt you and probably hurt others too. If I can help stop them, I should. Agent Johnson smiled with respect. You're very brave, Maya. Not many people would be willing to help like this. The FBI agents drove Marcus and Maya back toward the diner in separate cars. Marcus would go to the safe house while Maya would return to work as if nothing had happened. Before they separated, Marcus pulled Maya aside. I don't know how to thank you for everything you've done, he said. You saved my life and now you're risking yours to help catch these criminals. You already thanked me, Maya said. You showed me what it looks like when someone with power uses it to help people instead of just making more money. Maya, I want you to know something. Once this is over and the criminals are caught, I'm going to make sure you're rewarded for your courage. I don't need a reward, Maya said. Maybe not, Marcus said. But you deserve one anyway. Agent Johnson came over. It's time to go, Mr. Blackwell. Maya, remember to act completely normal. Don't do anything different than you usually do. Maya watched as Marcus got into the FBI car. Through the window, he mouthed the words, "Thank you," one more time. Maya went back to the diner and finished her shift. Frank was worried about her, but she could only tell him that everything had gone well and that Marcus was safe. The next few days were the hardest of Maya's life. She worked her regular shifts, served customers, and acted like everything was normal. But inside, she was constantly worried that the criminals would come back. Agent Johnson had given her a small recording device that looked like a pen. Maya kept it in her apron pocket at all times. FBI agents dressed like regular customers came to the diner throughout the day, always watching and ready to help if needed. On Thursday night, Maya's patience was rewarded. The three men came back to the diner, and this time they seemed desperate and angry. We know that man was here, the leader said to Maya, and we know someone helped him escape. If you don't tell us who it was, we're going to make life very difficult for you. Maya's hands were shaking, but she remembered to stay calm and keep the recording pen close to the conversation. I really don't know what you're talking about, she said. Let me be more clear, the man said. We know Marcus Blackwell was hiding here. We know someone helped him contact the FBI, and we think that someone was you. Maya felt her heart stop. They knew Marcus's real name and that he had contacted the FBI. We also know where you live, the second man added. We know about your sick grandmother. It would be terrible if something happened to her because you wouldn't cooperate with us. That was enough for the FBI. Two agents who had been sitting at a corner booth suddenly stood up with their guns drawn. FBI, you're all under arrest, Agent Johnson shouted as she burst through the diner's front door with 4 more agents. The 3 criminals tried to run, but there were FBI agents everywhere. In less than 2 minutes, all 3 men were handcuffed and being read their rights. Agent Johnson came over to Maya, who was shaking with relief and fear. "You did great," Agent Johnson said. "We got everything we needed to put these guys away for a very long time." Maya had helped catch the criminals, but she didn't know that her act of kindness was about to change her life in the most amazing way possible. The arrest of the 3 criminals at Rosie's Diner was just the beginning. Over the next 2 weeks, the FBI investigation grew bigger and bigger. Agent Johnson called Maya every few days to update her on what they had discovered. These men were part of a much larger criminal organization, Agent Johnson explained during one of their phone calls. They were trying to use legitimate businesses to hide money from drug sales, illegal weapons, and human trafficking. "How many people were involved?" Maya asked. "At least 20, maybe more. Your recording helped us understand how they operate. Because of your courage, we've been able to arrest most of the gang." Maya felt proud but also relieved. She had been worried that other members of the gang might come after her, but Agent Johnson assured her that the main leaders were now in jail. During this time, Maya didn't hear from Marcus at all. She wondered if he was okay and what had happened to him after the FBI took him to the safe house. She hoped he was back to his normal life, running his company and helping people. Maya continued working at the diner and going to her online classes. She tried to return to her regular routine, but something had changed inside her. Helping Marcus and working with the FBI had shown her that she was braver and stronger than she had ever imagined. One Tuesday evening, exactly 3 weeks after the night she first found Marcus in the back booth, Maya was serving coffee to the dinner customers when Agent Johnson walked into the diner. "Hi, Maya," Agent Johnson said. "Do you have a few minutes to talk?" "Of course," Maya said, wondering if there were more questions about the case. They sat in the same booth where Maya had first found Marcus unconscious. Agent Johnson had a big smile on her face. "I have some good news," she said. "Yesterday, the last members of the criminal organization were sentenced to prison. The leaders got 25 years each. They won't be bothering anyone for a very long time." Maya felt a huge weight lift off her shoulders. "So it's really over?" "It's really over," Agent Johnson said, "and I want you to know that your help made all the difference. Without the recording you made, we wouldn't have had enough evidence to convict them." "I'm just glad I could help," Maya said. Agent Johnson reached into her briefcase and pulled out a folder. "There's something else. The FBI wants to give you an award for your service to the community. It comes with a check for $5,000. Maya stared at the folder in shock. $5,000 was more money than she had ever had at one time. "I can't take that much money," she said. "Of course you can," Agent Johnson said. "You earned it." "But Maya, that's not all." Agent Johnson looked like she had an even bigger secret to share. "Marcus Blackwell has been asking about you. He wants to see you again." Maya's heart jumped. "He does? Is he okay?" "He's fine. Better than fine, actually. The publicity from catching these criminals has been very good for his business. People like knowing that he stood up to criminals instead of helping them." "I'm glad," Maya said. "He's a good person." "He certainly thinks the same about you," Agent Johnson said. "Maya, there are some things about Marcus that you don't know. Some things that might surprise you." "What do you mean?" Agent Johnson smiled mysteriously. "Why don't you let him tell you himself? He's waiting outside in his car. He was hoping you might have dinner with him tonight." Maya looked toward the window and saw a black car parked outside. It wasn't the same black SUV that the criminals had driven. This one was newer and more expensive looking. "I don't know," Maya said. "I'm still working my shift." Frank appeared next to their booth. Maya hadn't noticed him listening to their conversation. "Go on, Maya," Frank said. "Janet can cover the rest of your shift. You deserve a nice dinner after everything you've been through." Maya was nervous but excited. She took off her apron and followed Agent Johnson outside. Marcus was standing next to the car, and Maya barely recognized him. He was wearing a perfectly fitted dark blue suit and looked healthy and confident. His head wound had healed completely. But when he smiled at Maya, she saw the same kind eyes and gentle expression that she remembered from the diner. "Maya," Marcus said warmly. "It's so good to see you again." "Hi, Marcus," Maya said, suddenly feeling shy. "You look much better." "I feel much better, thanks to you," Marcus said. "Would you like to have dinner with me? I know a nice quiet restaurant where we can talk." Maya looked down at her work clothes. "I'm not dressed for a fancy restaurant." "You look perfect," Marcus said sincerely. "But if it would make you more comfortable, we could go somewhere casual." They ended up at a small Italian restaurant that Maya had always wanted to try but could never afford. Marcus was easy to talk to, and Maya found herself relaxing and enjoying the conversation. "I have a confession to make," Marcus said as they ate their pasta. "I wasn't completely honest with you about who I am." Maya felt a moment of worry. "What do you mean?" "When I told you I was the CEO of Blackwell Industries, I made it sound like a small company. But it's not small, Maya. It's one of the largest corporations in America. We have offices in 30 countries and employ over 100,000 people." Maya put down her fork and stared at him. "How large?" "The company is worth about $12 billion, Marcus said quietly. Maya's mouth fell open. She had helped save a billionaire and had no idea. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asked. "Because I wanted you to help me because I was a person in trouble, not because I was rich," Marcus said. "And I was right. You risked your life to save a stranger, not because you thought you'd get something out of it." Maya was quiet for a long moment, trying to process this information. "So you're one of the richest people in America?" "One of them, yes," Marcus said. "But Maya, money doesn't make someone a good person. You showed me what real goodness looks like. You have something that can't be bought." "What's that?" Maya asked. "A kind heart and true courage," Marcus said. "Do you know that in my world people help me all the time, but it's usually because they want something from me? You helped me when you thought I was just an ordinary person with no money or power." Maya started to understand why Marcus had kept his wealth secret. "That must be lonely sometimes." "It is," Marcus admitted. "That's why meeting you has been so important to me. You saw me at my worst moment and helped me anyway." They talked for 2 more hours. Marcus told Maya about the pressure of running such a large company and the difficulty of knowing who to trust. Maya told Marcus about her dreams for her restaurant and her worries about her grandmother's health. "Maya," Marcus said as they prepared to leave, "I've been thinking a lot about what you said that night in the diner, about wanting to open a restaurant that serves good food to working people." "It's just a dream," Maya said. "It would take more money than I could ever save." Marcus smiled. "What if I told you that dreams don't have to stay dreams forever?" "What do you mean?" "I mean that sometimes when someone does something truly extraordinary things happen to them in return." Maya looked at Marcus curiously, but he wouldn't say any more. "You'll understand tomorrow," he said mysteriously as he drove her home. That night Maya lay in bed wondering what Marcus had meant. She had no idea that her life was about to change in ways she had never imagined possible. Maya woke up the next morning wondering if her dinner with Marcus had been a dream. A billionaire had taken her to dinner and talked to her like she was the most important person in the world. It seemed too amazing to be real. She got ready for work as usual and took the bus to her day job cleaning offices downtown. All morning she thought about Marcus and wondered if she would ever see him again. Maybe now that the danger was over, he would go back to his rich life and forget about the waitress who had helped him. Around noon, Maya's phone rang. It was a number she didn't recognize. "Maya, this is Marcus," the familiar voice said. "Are you free this afternoon? There's something I want to show you." "I get off work at 3 p.m., Maya said, her heart beating faster. "Perfect. Can you meet me at the corner of Michigan Avenue and Riverside Drive at 3:30? Maya knew that area. It was one of the older parts of Detroit, with big brick buildings that had been built many years ago. "Okay, I'll be there." "Maya," Marcus said, "bring your grandmother with you if she's feeling well enough. I'd like to meet her." Maya was confused but excited. She called her grandmother and explained that the man she had helped wanted to meet her. Her grandmother, who was having a good day with her diabetes, agreed to come. At 3:30 p.m., Maya and her grandmother stood on the corner of Michigan and Riverside, looking around for Marcus. The area had several old buildings, including a beautiful hotel that had been closed for years. A black car pulled up and Marcus got out with a big smile on his face. He was wearing a simple shirt and jeans, which made Maya feel more comfortable. "You must be Maya's grandmother," Marcus said, walking up to the elderly woman. "I'm Marcus Blackwell. Your granddaughter is a hero." Maya's grandmother, whose name was Dorothy, smiled warmly. "She's a good girl, always helping people even when she was little." "I can see where she gets it from," Marcus said kindly. "Marcus, why did you want us to come here?" Maya asked, looking around at the empty street. Marcus pointed to the old hotel building behind them. "See that building?" Maya turned around and really looked at the building for the first time. It was 5 stories tall and made of beautiful red brick. The windows were boarded up and there were weeds growing around the entrance, but Maya could see that it had once been magnificent. "I've always loved that building," Maya said. "I used to walk by it when I was in high school and imagine what it looked like inside when it was open." "It's the old Riverside Hotel," Marcus said. "It was built in 1925 and was one of the finest hotels in Detroit. Important people from all over the world used to stay here." "What happened to it?" Dorothy asked. "The owners couldn't afford to keep it running," Marcus explained. "It's been empty for 10 years, but the building is still strong and beautiful on the inside." Maya wondered why Marcus was telling them about an old hotel. Then he reached into his pocket and pulled out a set of keys. "Maya," Marcus said, "remember when you told me about your dream restaurant? The place where working people could get good food at fair prices and where you could help train people for better jobs." "Yes," Maya said slowly. "What would you say if I told you that dreams can come true for people who risk everything to help others?" Marcus held out the keys to Maya. "This building is yours now, all of it." Maya stared at the keys like they were from another planet. "What do you mean, mine?" "I bought the Riverside Hotel yesterday," Marcus said. "I had it inspected by architects and contractors. The structure is perfect. With some renovation, the ground floor would be ideal for a restaurant, and the upper floors could be used for classrooms and job training programs." Maya's grandmother gasped and sat down on a nearby bench. Maya just stood there with her mouth open. "You bought me a building?" Maya whispered. "I bought you a dream," Marcus said. "Maya, you saved my life. You risked your safety to protect a stranger. You helped the FBI catch dangerous criminals. Most people would never do what you did." "But this is too much," Maya said, tears starting to form in her eyes. "I can't accept something this expensive." Marcus walked closer to Maya. "Do you remember what you told me in the storage room that first night? You said that when one person does something brave and good, it makes the world a little bit better. For everyone." Maya nodded, remembering her words. "Well, you made my world better," Marcus continued. "You showed me what real courage looks like. You proved that there are still good people who will do the right thing even when it's dangerous." Marcus pointed to the hotel again. "This building can make the world better too. Your restaurant can feed people who need good affordable food. Your job training programs can help people build better lives for their families." "I don't know how to run a restaurant," Maya said, feeling overwhelmed. "You'll learn," Marcus said, "and I'll help you. I've already arranged for you to work with the best restaurant consultant in Detroit. I've also set up a fund to pay for all the renovations and the first 5 years of operating costs." Maya looked at her grandmother, who had tears in her eyes. "Baby, girl," Dorothy said, "this man is giving you the chance to make all your dreams come true." "But why?" Maya asked Marcus. "This must have cost millions of dollars." "Because you showed me that money is just a tool," Marcus said. "What matters is how you use it to help people. I have more money than I could spend in 10 lifetimes. But you have something I can't buy. A pure heart that wants to help others." Maya walked up to the hotel and touched the brick wall. She tried to imagine it cleaned and painted with big windows full of light and the smell of good food coming from inside. "There's one more thing," Marcus said. "I'd like you to name the restaurant after the place where we met. You want me to call it Rosie's?" Maya asked. "Rosie's Legacy," Marcus said. "Because your kindness that night at Rosie's Diner is creating a legacy that will help people for many years to come." Maya couldn't hold back her tears anymore. She hugged Marcus tightly. "Thank you," she whispered. I promise I'll use this gift to help as many people as I can. I know you will, Marcus said. That's exactly why I'm giving it to you. 3 months later, Maya stood in front of the renovated Riverside Hotel, now called Rosie's Legacy. The building was beautiful, with clean brick walls, bright windows, and a sign that welcomed everyone to come in for good food and new opportunities. The restaurant on the ground floor served breakfast and lunch to working people at prices they could afford. The second floor had classrooms where people could learn job skills like computer training, cooking, and small business management. The third floor had meeting rooms for community groups. The fourth and fifth floors were being turned into affordable apartments for people who were getting back on their feet. Frank from the original Rosie's Diner was now the head cook at Rosie's Legacy. Carlos from the library was the security manager. Tony, the bakery driver who had helped them escape, managed the delivery services. Maya had quit her night job at the diner and her day job cleaning offices. Now she worked full-time as the director of Rosie's Legacy, making sure that everyone who came there was treated with respect and given real opportunities to improve their lives. Her grandmother Dorothy had her own room in the building and helped teach cooking classes to young mothers who wanted to learn how to make healthy meals for their families. Marcus visited Rosie's Legacy every week. Sometimes he came to eat lunch and talk with the customers. Other times he came to teach business classes to people who wanted to start their own small companies. 1 year after opening, Rosie's Legacy had served over 50,000 meals, helped 200 people find better jobs, and assisted 30 families in moving into stable housing. Maya often thought about that night when she found an unconscious stranger in the back booth of Rosie's Diner. She had made a simple choice to help someone in need, never imagining that her kindness would come back to her in such an amazing way. But the most important thing wasn't the building or the money. It was the knowledge that when good people work together, they can make the world a better place for everyone. Marcus had been right that first night when he was injured and confused. Maya had told him that when one person does something brave and good, we all benefit. Now, every day at Rosie's Legacy, that truth was being proven over and over again. Maya's dream of helping her community had come true, but it had become something even bigger than she had ever imagined. And it all started with a simple act of kindness to a stranger who needed help. Sometimes the most ordinary moments lead to the most extraordinary changes. And sometimes, helping others is the same as helping yourself, even when you don't expect anything in return. Maya learned that dreams really can come true, especially for people who are brave enough to do what's right, even when it's scary, even when it's hard, and even when they don't know how the story will end.